What's going on, you brothers? What's going on? It is your dude, Mr. International Passport, here again for yet another classic, future classic live stream. First and foremost, brothers, please press A1 in the live stream chat if you can hear me loud and clear. How is my audio? Sid, can you hear me, bro? Is my audio good?
Coming through loud and clear.
Super, super. Brothers, can you brothers hear me any all around the world? Please press a one in the live stream chat and we shall go forth and further. Who's in the building? How's my audio? Press a one in the live stream chat, please. It's gonna be a classic. Shout out Alex, thank you, bro, for confirming. Can I get a couple more ones, please, to confirm? Dark Ninja, awesome. So, welcome, brothers, to yet another classic live stream. I'm International Passport. I want to say a huge thank you to all those that have supported the channel over the past couple of years. And welcome aboard the new people to the movement. I accept and I embrace you with open arms. So, when you join the stream, please like the video. Likes are greatly appreciated. Please make sure you support throughout tonight by hitting the super chats, hitting the PayPal donations, definitely joining the Patreon, and of course, booking your consultations with me on the link pinned to the live streams. I've got a couple more consultation offerings on my calendar. Go check it out. The IP personal planner, the IP one-to-one talk. Go check out my Patreon and consultation offerings. Okay, new features on the Patreon and new features on the consultation page. So of course, brothers, cop the merch too. Show me some support tonight. That'd be greatly appreciated. Let's get straight into it. So in this live stream, I've got Mr. Sid, who is here to break down South African women and Botswana women. Sid, how you doing today, bro?
Oh man, I'm doing great, fantastic, and thanks for having me on your show, man. I love what you're doing. You're helping brothers out, so I'm honored to be here.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, man. A shout out to my mentee. You know who you are. For passing his exams in the last 2 weeks. Been working with him for the past couple of months. We're making big moves here, helping brothers. So let's get straight into it, bro. So Sid, can you give us a brief background about who you are, where you're from, and anything special about you?
It's a brother from the U.S., from the Washington D.C. area, or as we call it, the DMV, D.C., Maryland, Virginia. Born Washingtonian. Um, been traveling off and on for the past, I guess, a little over 20 years now, almost 25 years. You know, um, got out the Matrix after the divorce back in the late '90s, and started seeing the light as I started traveling. You know, um, and that's what I've been doing, man. Just whatever type of job or profession I get in, I try to make it so that I can travel. Got a law enforcement and security background, military background. I'm getting into tech now. I'm taking your class as soon as it opens next month. I'm taking your class. I'm in Theo's class. So I'm all about the red pill passport bro lifestyle, and got to keep it going for the rest of my life, man.
Fantastic, brother. Fantastic, brother. Awesome, awesome. So let's get straight into Mr. Sid. South Africa and Botswana, brother. Do you mind breaking down your history with those two countries? That's a very unique country, particularly Botswana. But I want to hear from you, brother, about your history from about South Africa and Botswana. Break it down for us, bro.
Okay. How I wound up going to those countries is that a few years ago there was a brother that was older than me. He was like a mentor to me. He uh he worked for the World Bank. He had been working for the World Bank. I think he had quit by that time, and he had been to just in Africa. He had been to 22 countries just in Africa. And I told him, I said, man, I want to go to Africa, but I want to go with somebody like you who knows the lay of the land. So next time you go, let me know. And so one day I get a call from him. He said, hey man, I'm in Ethiopia. What you gonna do? He said, give me a couple of months to get this money together and I'm gonna meet you. And so I had a business at the time. So I was able to get some money together after a couple of months. And I flew to Ethiopia and met him. And what we wound up doing is we actually did a 6-month trip. Just traveled throughout. We went through 6 countries in Africa, and 2 of those countries was South Africa and Botswana. And the good thing that happened during that time is that his ex-girlfriend, who was Tanzanian, and she worked for the World Bank, she had a work assignment in South Africa at the time that we were coming. So we actually, when we left Ethiopia and came out back down to South Africa, we actually left our main luggage with her, and then we hopped on the bus, and we went through South Africa and Botswana, a couple of other countries for like the next couple of months, man. I had a backpack that just all it could hold was 1 pair of pants, 2 shirts, my toothbrush, and a couple other things. And we rode hard, man, and had a great time.
Amazing, amazing, brother. So, awesome backstory, into your entry level, brother, into Africa. Now, brother, I'm going to ask you, brother, a very important question. And it's probably the most important question in the history of mankind, brother. Brother, this question is a question that can, solve world wars. Brother, this question can stop an alien invasion, right, from invading planet Earth and destroying the Earth. Brother, this question can split a huge sea into two because it's so powerful. And finally, brother, this question can make man, a brother, walk on sea from one end to another, like Christ did in the Bible, brother. This question can turn water into wine, brother. Okay? So the question I have for you, brother, is, are the women in South Africa and are the women in Botswana checking heavy for brothers, Western brothers, and passport bros, brother? Break it down for me.
Brother, let's split atoms, find new universes, part seas, and go to the deepest reaches of the ocean. Yes, they are.
Break it down,
Yes,
bro.
they are. Hard.
They checking? Okay,
Yeah,
so
man.
tell me why. Let's break it down first and foremost, right? Why are South African women checking for Western brothers? What is it about us that attracts us passport bros to South African women, brother? What do they love about us, bro?
Well, anytime you're a brother from the West, from the States, from the UK, your brother from outside of Africa, that's a brand new flavor for them. And they see us on television all the time. Whether that's the good portrayals or the bad portrayals that you get in the media, they see portrayals of black men in the West all the time. And so that's a brand new flavor. That's a flavor they want to taste. That's something they want to get with. And so, when you show up on the scene, the women, they'll come at you. They come at you. And so, yeah, they're checking hard for Western brothers.
That's crazy, bro. Amazing. So you're saying when it comes to South African women, it's the hip hop image, it's the swag image, it's the image of them seeing NBA players,
Yeah.
brothers dominating the NBA scene. Is that what you're saying, bro?
To give you an example, when I was in Oliver Tambo Airport, when I first flew into South Africa on my way to Ethiopia, I was walking to the bathroom, and there was a brother that was, he was the janitor. He was, cleaning the bathrooms. He was standing outside the bathroom, and he could, they can almost always tell a brother from the West. They can tell by the way you're dressing, by the way you walk, how you carry yourself. And as I was walking to the bathroom, the brother asked me, he said, Snoop Dogg? That's what he said. He asked me if I knew Snoop Dogg. He didn't say hi. He said, no, he said, Snoop Dogg? I just started laughing, you know. But yeah, that's from seeing those portrayals of hip hop, NBA, NFL, movies, all that stuff, that's that's how they see us, for better or for worse. So that's how they see us, and that's the image that they have, and so that's what they want to get to know. They want to know what they want to know what it's like, and they some of some of the dress that we have is already there, some of the mannerisms. I always tell brothers, in the West, that you got to remember things are a circle. So the swag that we have in the West actually comes from Africa first, and we just put a different flavor on it because of our unique situation here in the West, and so it comes back to Africa centuries later, in a slightly different way. But the swag is universal. So they they recognize the swag. It's just with the Western a little Western seasoning to it.
Amazing, amazing. Now, when it comes to Botswana women, brother, right? These are women that I will personally tell you, I have never met a woman from Botswana in my entire life before. I met a couple South African chicks, but never Botswana. Brother, are women in Botswana checking heavy for brothers and passport bros? If so, why?
Yes, definitely. Like I said, same same as goes with the South African women. The women in Botswana, it may be even harder because they they're not getting as many tourists in Botswana as they are in South Africa. South Africa is uh an international country, as far as they have infrastructure that's comparable to a lot of cities in the West, and they're not landlocked like Botswana is, so they get a lot of tourists. Botswana is a much smaller country that not a lot of people think about. So when they see a brother from the West, the women there are it's the interest is even more because they don't see you as much.
Damn. So, based on that comment, right, brother, are you telling me that women in Botswana literally go crazy when the Western brother steps through, brother? They go crazy. They go loco.
Yeah. Well,
Espanol.
they have that. They kind of have that reserved African way of being loco. It's not going to be like a stripper here in the West. She's just not going to jump on you like that. At least not most of the time. It kind of depends, where you at. But they have their way of showing you, like, yeah, I'm checking for you. They let you know.
So, a follow-up question to that, brother, is how do Botswana women let brothers know, hey, I'm checking for you, come and approach me? What kind of choosing signals do they give, brother, Botswana women to passport bros that they checking?
Well, their choosing signals are more traditional in that when you meet this woman, she is going to cater to you like a man. She's going to make sure that you're comfortable. She's going to make sure that you have what you want. She's going to constantly ask you what you need. You know, and that's just if you're if you're a guest in her home or you meet her in the mall or something like that. She's going to make sure that you're comfortable as a man and going to let you know that she's available to help you, and that makes you feel like the African king. Makes you
Amazing,
feel like you
brother.
came back home.
Coming to America.
Yeah. Now you don't want to come to America. Go take your ass back to Africa.
Oh man, I remember that movie, hilarious movie.
Yeah.
So what kind of choosing signals do South African women give brothers that, hey, I'm checking for you? Is it eye contact? Is it, body language? I want to know what kind of choosing signals they give out, brother.
Yeah, the eye contact and the body language is a lot more obvious than in the West, because in the West you look at a woman, she look at you like she won't even look at you, In South Africa and Botswana, they're more willing to acknowledge, that you've looked at them, or they'll look at you. Like I said, they can almost always tell that you're not from there. So these women, they're going to look at you. They're going to give you the body language. If you're in a setting where, you may know someone that they know, like you're in some type of group or something like that, they're going to talk to you. You know, Again, they're gonna ask you, why are you in South Africa? Can I help you? If there's anything you need, just let me know. You know, uh, uh, I'll what type of food do you like? Whatever, they're gonna make sure that you're comfortable, and so they're letting you know that they're available there to help you, and so that makes things a lot easier. Makes makes the convo a lot easier, and so uh, I said you're treated as a man, you're treated as a guest, and so that lets you know that, hey, I got somebody here to help me, and if you want to talk to this woman, if you like what you see in her, you can go at her. But let's say you don't like, she's not your flavor. All you gotta do is let her know. I'm you know, do you have any friends? I'm looking to go here, go there. This is kind of what I like. She's going to she's going to work on getting you what you need, what you want.
Incredible, awesome. I got a super chat. Hold on, brother. Shout out to Mr. Dark Ninja Superstar Mod for the $199 super chat, super sticker. Thank you, bro, for the support. Much appreciated, bro. Awesome, awesome.
Shout out Dog Ninja.
So let's carry on from there, brother. So when it comes to South Africa, brother, what cities should passport bros be going to get high quality women where they're chicken heavy for brothers? Break it down for us.
Well, the cities that I went to were mainly in the Western Cape. So I was in Pretoria, which is the administrative capital of South Africa. I was in Joburg, which is the business. That would be the equivalent of New York to South Africa. And I went to Cape Town. Uh, Cape Town is probably like Miami. You know, I didn't make it to the Eastern Cape, which is where Durban is. Which is, I like to go there next time. But yeah, I went to Pretoria, Joburg, and Cape Town.
Okay. And out of all those cities, brother, which has the best woman in your opinion for passport bros? And tell us why.
Um. Well, I'm gonna. I think Cape Town overall, because it's a beach city. You know, uh, a little more, relaxed, more relaxed down that way. You know, so you're gonna find people who, like I said, they're more laid back in Cape Town. The scenery is great. Like I said, it's a beach place, so you got the beach, you got the mountains, and in some ways it reminds me of Rio de Janeiro a little bit, because that's one of the few cities that has the beach and the mountains right there. And it's a very international city, so you're going to meet a lot of different types of people in Cape Town.
Hmm. Awesome. Thank you, brother. And brother, within Cape Town, right? What places, how do we find women in Cape Town? Is it in the library? Is it in the park? Is it in the coffee shops, the museums? How do we navigate Cape Town in terms of spots to go to meet women, high value women, brother?
Yeah, in Cape Town, go to uh there's a lot of tourist spots, that you go to. There's a lot of restaurants, and there's a lot of bars and clubs and just nice places to hang out. There's a street called Long Street in Cape Town where there's a lot of you'll have, like I said, you have the bars and the clubs, but you also have like the lounges and stuff where people just hang out, have a nice time. Uh, like I say, go by the beach area. There's really nice restaurants there where you can hang out, and there's a lot of things to do as far as outdoor nature type stuff like hiking. So you can meet people. There's a lot of ways to meet people in Cape Town because it's a place where it's an outdoorsy type place. You go up on Table Mountain, take the cable cars, you hike, you see all the stuff that all the natural beauty that Cape Town has to offers. So it's very easy to meet people. Um, I have some friends, that I'm still friends with to this day that I met just walking. Uh, I actually walked past them. They were at a restaurant, and then later on, they saw me and my buddy. We were walking along the street looking at the bus schedule for the tourist bus, and they stopped and like, hey, do you need some help? And that began a lifelong friendship, and that friendship turned into meeting other people, meeting other women, and so it's easy, man. It's very easy to meet people in Cape Town.
Awesome, brother. Now, for Botswana, what cities are the best cities for passport bros to go to in Botswana to meet high value, respectable women?
Botswana, the main city, the capital city is called Gaborone. The nickname is called Gabs, Gabs. So Gaborone and Francistown, which is a little bit north of Gaborone, and there was a nature reserve that I went to called Kasane. That's in the very not the north, the very top of Botswana, right on the border of Namibia. And that was one of is that's where you go for the to see the safari and stuff like that. And when you go to little rinky dink places like that, those women almost never see a brother. They'll see some tourists, and usually those tourists are from Botswana was colonized by the British, so usually you're gonna see some Brits, you're gonna see some Indians, some Chinese, but they're not gonna see as many brothers there. So when they see you, yeah, you're a unicorn.
Damn. Okay. Amazing. So, brother, within the capital city of Gaborone, right? What spots is there to meet women? So, same question as the South African question: is it the park? Is it
The best
the
place,
museum?
Gaborone is not, Botswana itself isn't a real big country. It's actually a decent sized country, but the population isn't real big, and it's mostly desert. So the best place to go in Gaborone is the mall. That's going to the mall is the easiest way to meet a lot of people. You know, uh, and they got parks, they got spots where park because even though it's desert, they still got rivers and stuff. So they have usually the locals will hang out by the river, like especially in the evening time as the sun sets, right before the sun sets. A lot of people go by the rivers and drink a few beers and hang out and cook out and stuff like that. So once you meet some locals, which is always easy to do, you know, uh, they'll ask you to hang out with them, and it goes from there, man. Once you meet a few people, hang out, the women will be on you because they've they've never met a brother from the states or from the UK, and they show their interest very easily.
Awesome. Fantastic, brother. So, going on from there, brother, right? You've been in both countries. Was feminism a problem in South Africa and in Botswana?
Feminism in South Africa is getting there. It's there. Um, there's I guess you could say almost like a little battle between you know the modern woman feminism type and the tradition, the African traditions that are there. Unfortunately, it seems like the feminism part is winning out a little bit more. But I mean, there's still most definitely traditional women there. Um, I would recommend getting out of the cities a little more, you know. But yeah, the feminism is there. You just need to uh, get out of the major cities and meet people more out in the outskirts, you know, because you know, you go somewhere like Joburg, you got working women, you know, they may have a professional job. They still know their duties and stuff. They know what to do, but they have that Western stuff in their head too. So you may have to battle some of that.
Okay. And what about for Botswana chicks?
Not as much. It's there, but not as much. Um, you stand a much better chance of having a more traditional relationship in Botswana. Um, but yeah, the feminism is there. It's just it's not to the same degree as South Africa.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Okay. So when it comes to communication, brother, right, in these two countries, is English enough or have we got to learn, excuse my ignorance here, I think they speak Swahili in South Africa and
Yeah,
Botswana, they have their own language.
in Southern Africa, uh, Swahili is spoken, but English is fine, man, because uh, the countries of Zimbabwe, South Africa, Botswana, and Namibia, they all had a British presence. The British went through there, colonized uh, parts, you know, most of those areas. So your English is just fine. You won't have any problem, you know. Uh, Yeah, yeah. It'll be easy. That's a matter of fact. I tell people that if you're going to go to Africa for the first time, going to Southern Africa is the easiest entry point because there's no language problem. You know, uh, as long as, like I said, as long as you're sticking to Namibia, Botswana, South Africa, Zimbabwe, all those countries speak English, you're fine.
Awesome, awesome, fantastic, brother. So, obviously, these are both predominantly black countries, South Africa and Botswana. But I'll keep it real with you, brother, right? I love my East Asian chicks,
Mhm,
right? And I love my Latinas, right? I love a little bit. I love a little bit of spice, brother. You know what I'm saying, brother?
mhm.
So in South Africa and in Botswana, right? Are there any other races of women in those two countries that are also checking for brothers, or do we have to only deal with black chicks over there, bro?
In Botswana, is mostly going to be black women. You know, you may see some East Indians, some Chinese, but not that much. In South Africa, you stand a much better chance. I mean, there's a mix in South Africa. I mean, yeah, you can in South Africa, you can run across, you know, the East Indians, some Asians, you know, some Far East Asians. Um, it's much more of a mixing bowl. Now it's still predominantly black for sure, but you start, like I said, a place like Cape Town, where a lot of people have been coming for, you know, 400 or 500 years. You know, the Portuguese, the British, the Dutch, you know, even, you know, the Chinese. They, you know, they've been coming there for years, for centuries, man. And so there's a mix there that you'll find. Uh, 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 in South Africa that is you're not going to find in most of the other Southern African countries.
Okay. And brother, did you deal with, and sorry, and are these non-black women in South Africa checking for brothers? You know, the Asian women out there, uh the whatever out there. Are they giving brothers play, brother? Or
Oh
is it only
yeah,
the black chicks? Okay, oh they
yeah.
are?
It's
Break it
it's
down for us.
yeah, it's all of them, man. Because like I said, by being a brother from the West, you're still a unicorn, man. You know, they see that flavor from the television, you know, all those videos, and they checking for you, you know, because as soon as they hear your British or uh, American accent, Canadian accent, whatever, they on you, man. It'll turn heads. You know, as soon as because they're around, the black women or the women, they see brothers all the time, but as soon as you open your mouth and they hear that accent, yeah, they'll be on you.
Do you have any stories, brother, of non-black women on you in South Africa?
Well, I was hanging out with some folks from, like I said, my buddy, he used to work for the World Bank, so we had a crowd of women around us who worked for the World Bank, and there was a one chick who was Indian, you know, and she was married, but as soon as she heard my accident, heard my accent, she was showing some interest. I just wasn't interested in dealing with no married woman. I ain't want no problems, you know. But yeah, man. I mean, you know, uh, the women of all shades and colors are checking for brothers from other places, you know. So your accent is your way in. As soon as you meet a few people, because they're going to ask you to come hang out with them. You know, I was standing in Gandhi Square in Joburg, just uh, I think I was waiting on my buddy. He went to some store, and I was just hanging out there in Gandhi Square, and some South African women saw me, and they were like, where are you from? I told them I'm from the U.S. Like I said, they heard the accent. They were like, you know, we can go over here and have something to eat. And I went with them, and they pointed me to the restaurant, and I chilled out with them for a little while, and just they bought me something to eat. They were too big for me. I didn't like these two. They were big mamas, but
Where are they from? Were they Becky's? Were they Becky's or Indian?
no, these were sisters.
Okay, sisters. Okay.
But now the Becky situation, I didn't meet any white women that I really got to know. I did meet some white women. The ones I met, I met a South African woman, a Afrikaner, you know. Uh she was older. But I mean, I didn't have any problems with them, Like I said, the accent uh puts them at ease a little bit, you know. Um, if you're a black South African, they either think that you're the help, or they want to look at you like you're a criminal or something like that, you know. Um, but if once they hear the accent, they're much more accommodating.
Okay. So going on from here, brother, right? Do would you say, right, South African women make great wives? Because as passport bro, we're looking for long-term girlfriends and we're looking for wives, right? Can we
Mhm.
find a beautiful sister, right, to make our wives in South Africa? If so, tell us why.
You can, but like I said before, you want to get away from the major cities, uh, because the Western influence is still heavy enough that like I say, you get these women that's working in the offices and stuff like that. They may not, they may not continue with their wifey duties after the marriage. They may fake the funk, up until the marriage. And this is just my opinion. I haven't seen this happen. Let me grab some water right quick.
No worries, bro.
But what's going on in South Africa is that battle between the traditional ways and the Western ways. To give you an example, um, a buddy of mine, who's South African, uh, he him and his girlfriend at the time. They were both professionals in their, at that time they were in their mid 20s, making great money. You know, if they lived in the States, they would easily have been making six figures. You know, they were working in corporate South Africa, so they had good education, good backgrounds, and he got his girlfriend pregnant. Now, under the traditional ways, even two people who are technically adults, they're in their 20s, they got good jobs, stuff like that, but they're not married, that is considered a childish act of having a child outside of wedlock. And under the traditional ways, what happens is that the man has to pay what's called damages. And what happens is a family meeting occurs, and this meeting doesn't happen between the parents; it happens between the aunts and the uncles. And so, what's supposed to happen is that the man is supposed to send a representative, like I said, usually his uncle, to the woman's family to announce when a meeting is going to occur. And then these, the damages are worked out. So, you're not going through the court system, you're not going through child support. Now they have child support in South Africa. They've set up that Western type system there. You know. And so that's what the battle is. Like I said, my buddy, he has the, started out with the traditional ways of doing things of paying for the child. And I think eventually, the woman she went to the court system anyway some years later, you know. So that's what you could potentially be dealing with, where, that Western system is there. But if you get a woman who is, you know, raised in more the traditional ways outside, like I said, the major cities, you could get somebody who is more about the tradition, who, they understand that about taking care of their man, and that's there. You just need to get away from the major cities.
Fantastic, brother. Now, so on that note, right? Tell me 5 things, brother, you love about South African women that would make passport bros happy to be with one.
Well, one of the things is the South African women. They're very nice, very very nice. I mean, most of them will go out of their way to help you. And like I said, as a man, they even with the Western influence, they still know, hey, this is you're the man. If they're in a relationship with you, you're the man. You make the decisions. That, like I said, some of that Western shit of, excuse my language, some of that Western stuff, it's gonna flare up every once in a while, and you gonna have to put your foot down. And they'll usually get back into the traditional ways. But the women are very very nice. Um, most of them got big butts. Yep, yeah. Most of them most of them have a nice shape. You know, most of them take good care of themselves. Uh, another thing is, like I said, they know how to take care of the man. You know, that's the traditional ways are there. You just got to find one that's going to follow most of them. Uh, that's three. Another thing, like I said, they still have the family structure. Like I said, I know this isn't specifically about the women herself, but I count having the family structure still in place as a plus for the woman, because the type of woman that you could potentially get when she comes out of a decent family structure, that's a plus for you overall. You know, uh, and they like to get down. The South African women, they'll be reserved out in public, but when it's time to do some things, they get down. You're gonna be all right.
And also, me and Sid here recorded uh, the explicit and X-rated version in regards to South African woman on the Patreon right now. Go and check it out. These South African chicks are freaks.
Yeah,
Those big butts are definitely getting put to use, brothers, to keep it PG.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
go and
and,
check
and
it
I
out,
and I
brothers.
and I had to apologize to you because I still even had to be a little bit reserved when we did that because I had an unexpected guest in the house, so I couldn't really say everything I wanted to say at the time. But yeah, we still got it in pretty good.
Awesome, awesome. So yeah, bro, go check out, brothers, on the Patreon right now. The naughty version of this live stream. It will shock you. So going on from there, brother, right? Going on from there. Um, Now I want to ask this, brother, right? Tell me five things you don't like about South African women.
5 things I don't like about them.
Mm,
Um, I don't know if there's 5 things I don't like about them. Well, like I said, the possibility of them being a little too westernized, that's a possibility. Like I said, especially if you're, if you get them from Joburg or something like that, or Pretoria, they if they've been out there working in the office and all, yeah, you have the possibility of getting a heavily Western influenced South African woman. Um, I don't know if there's 5 things, man, because I mean most of the stuff is overall positive. You know, let me see. Yeah, man, I'm not sure if there's 5 things I can come up with that I don't like. Like I said, it's just that Western influence, and maybe you know, they have them being sisters and sisters, no matter where you go. So they still have the potential of running their mouth. You know, even as an African woman, they sister is a sister. They still get that blood, so they may mouth off to you a little bit, but again, you being the man, and you just hey, they you stand a much better chance of them getting back in line than if you dealing with Keisha in Keisha from Detroit or DC somewhere. You're gonna have to fight them. The South African woman, she you know she gonna shut up. You know, but yeah, you got the potential of the temper. That's still there. Uh, and Yeah, that's what all I think of, man. They don't have too many negatives, you know. Um, Looks wise, I mean, most of the South Africa, if you're strictly talking about the sisters, most of them look familiar to what most of us brothers are used to. Now, you can find, depending on which ethnic group, you find some with the Asian looking eyes, you know. Uh, there's naturally different skin tones of South Africans, you know, because remember you're farther south, so the skin can get lighter, you know. Uh, so yeah, I mean you can find different skin tones, like I said. So what I'm saying is, if you're a brother who uh 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 if you're looking for something totally different as far as sisters, you're not gonna find that. It's you're they're gonna look mostly what you're used to seeing for the most part in the West. It's like I said, the features tend to look a little bit more Asian, even naturally, among some of the South Africans. Um, yeah, man, there's really not too many negatives with them because they gonna, for the most part, they gonna cook, they gonna clean, they gonna do their thing when you want them to do the thing, and most of them are gonna listen. And at the times that they don't, you just go, "Hey, I am the man." Put the fist down and let them know what's going on, and most time you're gonna be all right.
Awesome. Thank you, bro. All right, brothers, can we please get the likes up? Please get the likes up ASAP, and then please send in some PayPal donations and super chats. If you have any questions, please send your questions and a donation. That'd be greatly appreciated. So let's go on to Botswana woman, brother. Um, are Botswana women wifeable, brother, in your
Yeah, they're
opinion?
wifeable. Yep, yep. There's
Tell us, tell us why.
because like I said, you're seeing less. There's less of that Western influence. Um, and they're still looking to the Botswana is an up and coming country, you know, and so the people there overall they're looking to just do better in life, uh uh and the women there are they're looking for good men. They want to be they're looking to improve their educations, things like that. And so the women and the people overall in Botswana, they're very nice people. Um, and actually, Botswana is from what I could tell, just the place I went, it's a very clean country. Uh, I never saw any homeless people in that one single time. The cities were pretty clean. Uh, and again, remember you're in Africa, so you are the man. You are the man. And what I mean by that is, I'll give you an example. Uh, the brother that I hung out with in Botswana, I actually met him on a bus. We were coming from South Africa, and our destination was the place I told you about earlier, Kasane, which is the game reserve in the far north of Botswana. Well, I was sitting beside this brother, and he had on a pair of shoes that they don't even sell them in the United States anymore. I think they're called floor shimes. They're very nice quality shoes, and I could tell what he had on. I said, "Yo, man, those are nice." I said, "They don't sell those in the United States anymore." And so we got into a conversation and found out he worked at the airport in Kasane. Long story short, me and my buddy wind up staying at his house for 10 days. He even lent us his car. He gave us his car. We drove him to work every morning, and we drove this man's car around, right? He also would send his girlfriend to the house to take care of us. Now, he worked in Kasane 2 weeks out of the month. His wife and child lived in an entirely different town about 6 hours away to the south. So the man has a wife and a child in one town, and he has a girlfriend in another town. This is normal, right? This is Africa. You are the man. And so, you know, you're in a place where the women are very accommodating. They understand men. The girlfriend even told me, I don't mind that he has a wife and child. As long as he takes care of me, I'm fine.
Damn. Damn. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, brother, tell me 5 things you love about Botswana woman.
The Botswana women, they have butts that are even bigger than the South African women. Southern Africa is I honestly, man, and I've been to Brazil many times. But Southern Africa has some of the biggest asses I've ever seen in my life. They grow them down there, bro. This is the motherland. This is where this stuff come from. They sometimes it may get a little sloppy, some of them, but for the most part, if you want thickness, if you want, yeah, them women, they you ain't gonna be no skinny Becky type sisters down there. Not for the most part. There's some, but the overall trend is they thick, man. Them women they ain't playing, man. The legs, the what they say, like they say, if you from down south, they say the hind parts. The hind parts is thick, brother. You know. Uh so yeah, that's a number one thing I like about the Botswana women. And again, even more so than the South African women, they are very, very nice and accommodating. Like I said, um, because my buddy, I think he didn't eat meat. We were at a cookout. He didn't eat meat. Somebody ran out. They got in their car and ran out somewhere, and they came back with this humongous fish. I don't know where they got this damn fish from, but it was just for him. You were a guest. They treat you, they treat you as a guest in the African way. They're going to accommodate you. They're going to make sure that you're comfortable. So that's the overall culture. That's what the women come from. That's what you want. So I like that about them. And most of them are educated or trying to get educated. They're trying to do something for themselves in their life. Uh they're not just, like I said, the portrayal that we see of Africa on the news. They want everybody to think is everybody lives in a hut and just trying to go out and scam you. That's not entirely true. You got people out here trying to better their lives. So you're going to meet women they're looking for a good man. They're trying to be decent women themselves. Oh, and matter of fact, IP, your big thing is meeting a woman with some religion and some morals. Well, you know that nobody does religion better on this planet than black people.
Mm.
So if you meet a Christian woman in Africa, and specifically we're talking about Botswana, South Africa, you meet you a good Christian woman there, bruh, you in there. And there's plenty of them. I went to church in South Africa, and it had to be at least a 90% of the people in there were women in the church. So if you want to meet some women and you looking for a wife, show up in church, bro. Show up in church and be a brother from the West. You may have to take the Bible to beat the women off of you. Yeah. You say something about the Lord in Africa. Yeah. You in there, bro.
Tell me 5 things you don't like about Botswana chicks.
I'm honest with you, man. I can't think of 5. I can't think of 5 things I don't like them. I didn't encounter anything. Okay, now there's one thing I can think of, and again, depends on who you're hanging out with. Some of the younger ones, they do have that party mentality. Because I did meet a group of girls. These were the drinking his ass women. Oh man, me and my buddy, we bought the alcohol for what we thought was going to be the whole weekend because they had a holiday, and the guy we were hanging out with, he invited some women over to the house. We went through all that alcohol in one day. And I had never seen women that could drink like this. They whoo. They would compete with me for the drink, man. So yeah, I mean that's one thing you may run into in Southern Africa in general, and we're talking about Botswana and South Africa. So yeah, that's a potential negative where if you meet those type of women, yeah, they can drink. You're gonna have a good time though. You're gonna have a really good time.
Awesome, bro. So I got one more question, but let me read a super chat real quick. Shout out to Mr. The Black Muslim for the $5 super chat. Appreciate you, brother. Are the South African women only displaying American girl actions because they work, or is it a regardless?
Hold on, man. SA women only displaying burger action because they work, or is it? Mostly it's because they work. Mostly, and see, and I say that because the working part is because they have they're making their own money. They tend to make their own money, so they're in the city. You know, they're in the city, and so uh you want to get away from the women, that are in the city, because nothing wrong with a woman working. You just, when she's working at the mall, when she's working, like I said, in Joburg and stuff like that, the wife potential kind of goes down, man. You want one that's, 3-4 hours out from the major city, that's on a uh on a farm somewhere, or just, kind of out in a smaller town where they don't see as many tourists, and uh 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 doesn't have as much upfront exposure to the West. Everybody got a cell phone, so they, so they can access certain things from the West. But when they're in those major cities, they're coming into contact with a lot of Western stuff. So you want someone that's that's a little farther out from the major cities, you know.
Awesome. Thank you, bro. Shout out to the Black Muslim again for the support. Much appreciated, bro. So poly is no problem. Polygamy, brother, in both South Africa and Botswana.
It's kind of underground. It's still there. It's still uh accepted, just not as out front as it used to be, you know. Because uh the Western ways, and see, that's a negative part about the Western religion part, that comes in, uh of not accepting the polygamy, but the traditional ways will still win out, mostly because you got a population where there's way more women than there are men. So, the women kind of don't have a choice, you know. Uh if a man can come through and take care of them, you know, they're gonna accept that. They're much more accepting.
Awesome, awesome. So to end our segment here, brother, we are at the hour mark. Um, so, brother, out of South African women and Botswana women, brother, if you had a choice to make one your wife, why are you picking one over the other? And tell us why, brother. So essentially, out of those two, who's better in your opinion?
If I had to choose between the Botswana and the South African for a wife, I'm gonna go with Botswana.
Why?
Because they're, like I said, their exposure to the Western ways is less. Their uh uh they're still a little more traditional. They don't have as big a population, so they're a little more isolated from some of the craziness. You stand a much better chance of finding you a good Botswana woman over South Africa. You know, like I said, South Africa still, like I said, as long as you get away from those major cities, I think you're fine. In Botswana, the only major city is Gaborone, and that's still relatively small. You know, so you stand a much better chance of finding you a good wife in Botswana.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, come, bro.
Well, I also want to add that, when you meet some women, when you meet, especially like let's say you meet some older women, right? You let these older women know that you're looking for a wife. They will find a wife for you, find candidates for you. You let them know what you're looking for. You let them know, your parameters. You're looking for a certain morality, a certain look, a certain, these older women, they understand men. They know that women got to listen and got to do some catering to you as a man. So you let it be known you're looking for a wife, they will find a woman for you. They'll find several for you to choose from.
Amazing. Amazing. Thank you, brother. So, brothers, now's your time to call in to ask questions about South African women and Botswana women. We got 1 more hour left, so please use the time very wisely. And much appreciation to Sid for taking the time out for this classic live stream. So, Neo Gay, Sengi, please feel free to call in and defend or speak about your fellow South Africans, the culture, the people. It's an open discussion, so let's get cracking, man. So once again, um, I'm offering new services on my consultations and on my Patreon. Go and check out both to help you be a better passport bro, equip you further, and give you brothers more guidance, man. We're changing lives here. This channel is changing lives. So allow me to be that positive light in your life. All right. So call in and let's get cracking, man. Awesome. So while we wait for a caller, Mr. Sid, and brothers, get the super chats and PayPal donations flowing. If you can't call in, you must hit your question in a PayPal or super chat donation. So let me ask this, brother, right? Um, what kind of society is South Africa? You know, um, is it true that white people there hold the majority of the wealth there, and a huge population of black people there live in poverty? And sorry, white people and Indians run that country, bro, and black people have no power in South Africa. Is that true?
Unfortunately, a lot of that's true. It's not entirely true, but it is mostly true. Um, yeah, the majority of the businesses in South Africa, in I'm going to say Southern Africa, the entire region, but specifically South Africa, we're talking about. Majority of the businesses are run by still mostly white people and other races other than black people. Uh, it has improved because you have the generation that came up after 1994. Like my buddy that I met in Cape Town, he's part of that generation. He's like in his early 30s now. And so he works in corporate South Africa. They're raising their kids, at a much improved level over what was happening during apartheid. They got the BMWs, they got the nice houses and stuff like that. So things are better. But yeah, it's mostly most of the big businesses uh are still run by white folks. Um a lot of people don't know that um that was actually the deal that was made when Nelson Mandela uh, was in prison. Part of the deal that he made to get out of prison and to just improve South Africa. Not saying that this was strictly a thing where he just said I'm gonna do this just to get out of prison. He made the deal to allow the white population to keep their businesses, and that the black population would take things over politically. And a lot of times, we as black folks don't understand that it's really the business, the economic power that is really where the power is,
Yeah.
not the political.
Yeah.
Because see, you can be as a government official, the business people just buy you off. If you're in a country where especially if you're in in a democracy where you got to run for office, well, you need money to run for office. You're not going to the hood to get that money. You're going to the business community to get that money to run your campaign. Well, they're going to give you the money, but they're going to give you a set of instructions as to what they want for their money.
Hmm.
Doesn't matter what country you're in. And so that's what the situation is in South Africa, where you still have uh, uh, the majority of the businesses are still run by the uh, the children of the uh, the makers of apartheid. I said it's changing. It's changing. Maybe not fast enough. You still got a lot of South Africans that are hurting. They ain't getting their land back, and they want their land back. If y'all seen Julius Malema, the brothers, he talks about getting the land back. You know, so yeah, that's that part is there.
Awesome. Hopefully they do get their land back. I think that's a huge factor that's stopping me from going there, because I just hate seeing, our people, especially in their own country, not doing well and getting dominated. That doesn't sit right with me, because black people, black men aren't dominating in India. We're not dominating in China. So why is it that Chinese people, Indian people, and white people are dominating on our own continent? That's not flying around me, bruv. That's got to change, bruv. If you can make money in our continent and become rich, right, have businesses, and we can't do that in your country, you're taking us for fools, bruv. So that's got to stop in the near future, man. We need to keep raising our conscience and have a us only mentality first, bruv. I'm tired of us, getting played like fools and getting exploited, like we're nothing. It really makes me angry when I see a bunch of um, um, uh, uh, um, non-black people making millions in Africa, in the Caribbean, but black people ain't making nothing in their country, bruv. That's not flying, bruv.
Yeah.
Nah, man.
Well, you just said something very interesting about that. Is what stop you from going there. My thing is, you need to go there to make the connections with the brothers and sisters, especially the ones that have the businesses, because you could potentially walk into a situation where you become an international representative for this brother. You never know what type of business they have, and they're looking for an international outlet, or they're looking for a partner. Because see, that's what's happening with the other folks. Their ancestors that made that invaded 400 years ago. You know, they're still able to come here because they got a base here. They got a base in Africa, and they got a connection back with their original European homeland, and so they can do business back and forth. As a brother from the US, from the UK, you start talking to people, because man, there's plenty of brothers and sisters there that want to do business, that have advanced degrees. Don't let what they show you on TV, fool you. There are some very highly educated brothers and sisters there. Like I said, my buddy that's there, this guy is smart as hell. He works very hard. Uh, and there's other brothers and sisters like him that they're just looking for uh other opportunities that will help them break loose. And you may be the person that they can partner with. And when you go there, when you get on the ground and you actually see some of the resources with your own eyes that Africa has, it's gonna blow your mind, man. It when you really, I mean, when you see the minerals, when you see the stones, when you see what they have, you will truly understand why other people keep coming into Africa and invading and taking, because there is a lot there. It's there, man, and it's up to us to go there and see this stuff and figure out, well, how can we make businesses ourselves and connect with the brothers and sisters on the continent, because that's what they're looking for. They're looking for that. And like I said, the other folks, that's what they're doing. They send their folks, from Europe or from China to Africa. The Chinese, hey, I'm gonna tell you something. The Chinese, I saw this with my own eyes in Kasani, that little rinky-dink place out in the middle of nowhere. There was a Chinese takeout and a Chinese furniture store there, right? Do you really think that those two stores, that's why they're there to sell the products? No, those are outposts. Those places are for the Chinese to look and see what type of natural resources are there. And they report back home and they say, hey, they got this type of stone or mineral or whatever. Send Chung Lee over here, and we're gonna set up this other store so we can start sending whatever this mineral is I found back home. That's why those little stores, they ain't there to sell no damn Chinese food. That's
That's
why you
got
need to go.
mm. No, and then number one, that's got to stop. Darkly, just turn your camera on in the background, please. So I know you're not a troll. That's got to stop, bro. That will stop. This exploitation of our resources has got to stop, bruv. Number two, right? This passport bros movement, brothers getting into IT, remote working. We got big plans, bro. We don't want to be confined in the West. We want to spread our seeds worldwide. We got a network going. We ain't playing no games here, bro. Because it don't make no sense that a Chinese person can come to our continent, right? Do a bit of recon, report back to their country, and explore our resources, but we can't do that in their country. That's got to stop, bro. We need to benefit from our own original land. I've always said this, right? No black person on this earth should be poor. The reason why a lot of black people are poor is because the world government, right, and the world economy is actively screwing black people over. Right, this economy wasn't created by black people and it wasn't for black people. We know that the Europeans created the modern day economy with their rules that skew towards them. That's gonna stop. That's gonna stop, bro. I'm telling you, man. We gonna rise, man. One day we gonna rise. It may not be in our lifetime, but we gonna rise, man. And we definitely gonna rule this world, man. We will make up for the 500 years of slavery, of exploitation, right? Of the derailment of our people. We would definitely make up for it, and we're gonna run the next 500 years, man. Lord willing. Let's get it, man. Let's get cracking, man. Let me bring in Mr. Dark Ninja. Hold on, bro. What's going on, Dark Ninja? How you doing, bro?
Hello, brothers.
What's up? What's up, Dark Ninja?
What's up, bro? How are you guys?
Good. Oh, great.
All good, bro.
All right, man. So wonderful discussion. Love everything you said, bro. I do have some questions here. So do you think South African women are modernized or westernized?
The younger generation is getting more modernized, westernized. That's getting there. And that's why I said, if you're gonna deal with a South African woman, you want to get outside of the major cities, because if they're in Joburg working at whatever company, they're getting a lot more Western influence. If you're dealing with a woman who's 50 miles outside of Joburg in some little small town, you stand a much better chance of finding your woman who is going to take care of a man. She's going to, follow your lead. She's going to be cooperative and appreciative, So yeah, that it's there. So you're going to have to get outside the major metropolitan areas.
Okay. So hair, weaves, wigs.
Yeah, that's there. They got the wigs. They got the weaves. Yeah. I'm gonna tell you something, man. You ain't getting away from that in Africa. It's there. Some of them, they wear their natural hair too. But
Uh,
That's
women
gotta
being
go.
women, women can't keep a hairstyle. They can't keep one hairstyle for more than like 2-3 days. So
And
they
that's
may have their hair natural one day, and then she may come out with a weave in her head, hair 3 feet long, the next week.
and that's part of the problem, bro. That's part of the problem. Wearing the hair of another race of woman. That's part of the problem, bro. And that's all about a mental state where a lot of our women, see, you know, white women's hair, Indian women's hair is more appealing and better than their hair.
Yeah.
That's part of the problem too. That's a mental problem that is plaguing the sisters. I don't like seeing weave on sisters. If I was in a sister right now, I'm gonna tell her take that ish off, man, or I ain't gonna date you. No weaves. You either get afro or extensions, or you grow your hair out. I can't stand weaves, bro. I can't stand it. And you know that white women have some sort of thinking where, oh wow, look at her, right, wearing my hair. Of course they're thinking that, bruv. They're thinking that.
Yeah.
I,
You
bruv, it's
know,
just too much. Like, go on, Dark Ninja. You're
yeah,
confirmed Black Muslim. I'm gonna bring you in after Dark Ninja, bro.
I be you speaking absolutely facts. I do have conversations with white women a few times, so yeah, they do be thinking that way. But I will say this: like, what's your thoughts on?
Sorry, bro. Can you break down that conversation as to, you know, with a white woman you had where she's actually thinking that, listen, black women wear my hair. Break it down for us, bro.
Well, here's the thing: like, they be clowning black girls and say that why do they wear our hair? Why do we never really see them with their natural hair? It's kind of strange. And so I'm like, I don't know. It's some kind of it's something it's a trauma that's and also a beauty standard that they believe in their minds. A lot of black women believe in their minds that they should uphill European standards of beauties, meaning like white hair, bleaching the skin. You see that a lot in the black communities, including African community. So yeah, man, it's deep. I think it's like you said before. I think something mentally wrong with our fellow sisters who are doing that. Um,
yeah.
Hopefully they get out of that mindset of thinking. I see that a lot more in West Africa
Yeah. Oh yeah.
compared to other regions of Africa.
It's embarrassing, bruv. It's
Yeah.
utterly embarrassing. Show me the average white chick wearing an afro or Asian chick, bruv. I don't want to get too deep into it because it's embarrassing, man. Honestly, it makes me
Yeah.
livid, brother.
You know,
Go on, bro.
IP. The thing with that is like they call out white girls for wearing cornrows, dreads, afros, whatever, black style. But then you look at the black girl, right? She wearing blonde hair,
Mhm.
weave, wig, and but then you're being a hypocrite, right? So yeah, you see that, but I do. If you call our sisters in the West, you know what happens.
I remember I was dating a sister back in the day, right? And she was wearing weave. And one day, right, she took her hair off, right, her weave off, and she looked like a complete different person. I'm like, what's this, bruv? Who am I dating? Oh my gosh, I hate that weave stuff. I was like, what? I was like, who is this in front of me right now? I was like, nah, man, that is some crazy trickery, that weave stuff. All right, bro.
Yeah.
You got one more question, or but obviously, brother, you can stay on the line, but I need to bring in Black Muslim.
Yeah, I'll let Black Muslim go, and then I'll speak later.
Awesome, thank you, brother. Thank you. Let me bring in. Go on, bro.
Well, I apologize because that's one thing I did forget. I forgot about the weed. When you asked about the negatives, yeah, that's there. Yeah.
Do they
Nice,
you
man.
like the
Seeing a
short?
sister walking down the street in the UK. Hold on. You see a sister, wearing weave, walking down the UK with blonde hair, blonde weave, green hair. What you doing, man? Blonde weave. Come on, brothers, man. What kind of black person has blonde hair in this world? Are you wearing blonde weave? It's a joke, man. Go on, Dark Ninja. I need to bring in Black Muslim.
So, do you like the short hair look in South Africa? I know they can rock it, but I don't know how brothers feel about that.
Yeah. If they have a nice traditional hairstyle, yeah, that's fine with me, man. They, I mean, those sisters are beautiful, man. They just, as any brother from the West knows, it's just very, very hard to get women in general, and especially when they have that Western influence, it's very hard to get them to understand that we like their natural beauty, and when they're doing that weave stuff and the eyebrows and all of that Bozo the Clown makeup, the one thing that we as men have to realize is that it has nothing to do with us. The women are going to tell you, "Oh, I'm making myself, I'm making myself look good for you." She's lying. It has nothing to do with us. These women are in competition with each other. That's why they're putting all that stuff on. They're in competition with each other. It ain't got a damn thing to do with us.
Facts. All right. Let me bring in Mr. Black Muslim. You got your camera on? Is that okay? Give me a thumbs up, bro. Black Muslim. Is that okay? Give me a thumbs up. Okay, awesome. Let me bring in Mr. Black Muslim in the background.
Yo, IP, man.
What's going on, bro?
A funny conversation, man. I was just thinking in my head the whole time y'all was talking. Would y'all believe that it is haram in Islam for a woman to wear anything fake extensions, butt, breast, any of that stuff? Is all against Islam. I just think it's funny because at the end of the day, it's very deceptive, it's very dishonest, and and it also has other psychological factors that come with it, man. The more women do this stuff, the more it negatively affects them. So, yeah, man, it's crazy that it's become such a big thing today. It is very unattractive. I mean, I know that they have their own things, but look, if I'm the guy coming in the room looking for a wife, I'm not picking a girl with extensions or weave. I'm not doing it. But that's my opinion. I was asking, bro, I don't know what your relationship situation is in either Botswana or South Africa, but I wonder if, as the relationship goes on from start to, middle way point and whatnot, how is the family interaction with the husband or boyfriend, what have you, and the family? Like, is it very inviting? Is it very family oriented? Like, hey, bring them to the barbecue kind of energy. Like, what is that? What's that like?
Oh yeah. The family, when you meet someone who has a good family structure, like I say, that Western influence is there, but for the most part, the family structure is still pretty strong overall in Africa. So yeah, if you're the husband or boyfriend, shoot, man, when you just a friend, the guest, man, you're gonna have a good time. They're very inviting, they treat you very nice. I mean, not unless you do something really stupid. I mean, most time they're going to treat you good, man.
Okay.
You get into a relationship with a woman. Yeah, you're going to be fine, man. It's going to be truly, the son-in-law, father-in-law. In the West, those things at one time, those things actually meant something because marriage is about bringing two families together. At one time that was real in the West. And I remember hearing probably about 20 years ago, I heard a woman say, marriage is just between two people. They ain't got nothing to do with the families. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about?
That's such a lie too, man.
Yeah,
I was married in the States, man, 13 years, bro. Yo, everybody gonna be in your marriage, man.
yeah.
I mean, her brother gonna be coming over, having his opinions. Everybody gonna be in marriage. Her friends, it's way worse. In America, the dang on co-workers is in your marriage. You know what I'm saying? Like it's ridiculous, and it's not in a positive way. Ain't nobody rooting for it because they all miserable. But what I was saying,
in Africa, when people are giving any type of opinion about your marriage or marriage in general, the whole focus is about keeping the marriage and the family together. It's not about taking somebody's side and making you feel like you're bad or whatever. The whole focus is on keeping the family together. That is the main focus.
So you were saying poly is there, but it's not so prevalent because like in the major cities. I know you were saying that about South Africa. What about Botswana? You said Botswana's major cities aren't that as Americanized.
Yes, not as Americanized, not as Westernized. And as you get out into the country a little more, yeah, these women are sharing. Like I said, it's not going to be nothing on paper, that the brother has four wives, but yeah, he gonna have his main family, and he going, if the brother and there's quite a lot of brothers work, live in one town and work in another. Well, yeah, he gonna have his woman, and sometimes even a whole nother family in that another town, and then if he goes somewhere else, his girlfriend gonna be in that other town too, and some type of word is going to get around. It's going to be known, but as long as he's able to take care of everything he needs to take care of, ain't gonna be a whole lot. Somebody gonna be doing some bitching and crying, but ain't nobody going nowhere.
Okay. How is the entrepreneurship for African Americans or brothers anywhere, passport bros anywhere, that want to come over there and start businesses? I heard y'all talking about that a little bit earlier. You were saying like it's still mostly owned by the children of the people who started the apartheid, but like if I show up and I'm like, hey, I got this X business, is it, aside from funds, is it going to be like a lot of red tape? Like in Cleveland in particular, I was over there and my brother-in-law started a restaurant, and because he was starting it in basically what they call Little Italy,
I can imagine, bro.
Right. So the people was coming out like, this cement has a crack in it. You need to rebuild the whole thing. That's the wrong, like just trying to make as many problems as possible to stop him from doing the business. Is that same energy in South Africa? Someone starts to shop because, I could take my money elsewhere if that's the case,
Well, you're gonna, we know that the non-Western countries tend to have a little more red tape in general anyway. That's number one. Number two, you're a foreigner, so you're gonna get a little extra in it. You're gonna get some extra red tape for that one too.
Okay.
You gonna pay a couple of extra fees just for that too.
But it's not like, oh, you ain't one of us, so you can't have a business here. Is it that kind of thing?
Nah, they're gonna for the most part, they're gonna let you set up a business. Like I said, just by being a foreigner, they're gonna try and get over on you just because of that, you know. And it doesn't matter what country you go to, you know, on the planet. They just by being a foreigner, they're gonna try to get you to pay some extra fees. So that's what you always got to be aware of. But
I know a guy who was working remote in South Africa not even a little long ago. He actually lost his job because of the power issue. What's up with the power grid?
Yeah, that's matter of fact, I got one of my buddies, my buddy that I actually did the trip with, the 6-month trip. He's in South Africa now, and that's what I actually want to talk to him about, because yeah, they are going through that situation where they having power outages, you know, for several hours a day. So yeah, if you know, if your business or job is internet intensive, which a lot of them are nowadays, that's potentially a problem. You know, there may be some ways, and I'm going to discuss with my buddy what ways are around that. You know, is it as simple as maybe getting a generator? I don't know. You know,
Does it look like it's going to get resolved? Does it look like they're repairing certain areas, is catching up, or is it just like we up the paddle without a creek?
I'm gonna bring in Ninja after.
like I said, that's something I want to discuss with my buddy to see what's going on, if that situation is being resolved, you know. And I'm sure they're trying to resolve it, with just how they is the way that they're trying to resolve it make any sense, you know. But yeah, those are the things that when it comes to going somewhere in Africa that you got to watch out for. Yeah, that's just the situation you could potentially deal with, you know.
Gotcha.
Hold that thought there, Black Muslim. Let me just switch it over to Dark Ninja, and I'll bring you in after again, brother. And brothers, feel free to call in to chime in on this discussion. We've got half an hour left. Go on, Dark Ninja.
Yeah, so I have a question for the brother. So concerning the colored girls over there, so do they? I know they're checking for brothers, right? Right?
Yeah.
Okay, they're checking for brothers.
Yeah.
So,
the when you say colored, because you know you got black and you got colored.
okay.
Yeah. There's that situation. They made the buffer class in South Africa, in Southern Africa. There is a buffer class of the mixed race that they use to pit as a buffer between the, you know, the original mostly non-mixed Africans and the white folks. You know, there's that buffer class. This is a check for you, you know, as a brother, you know, from that's not South African, you know. But just, you know, these are some of the things you'll see there, you know. It's for me, it's important that before you set foot on African soil, you need to know some history. You need to know as much history as you can, because there's things you're going to see and you're going to hear that you just need to know the overall history of these things. Like I said, that buffer class is there. It was created so that if something kicked off, the buffer class would get their ass kicked first, you know, or really the buffer class was there to keep them in line to begin with, you know. And so, you know, when you see the mixed race South Africans, you need to understand that this wasn't necessarily about love. It's a tactic.
Sorry, say the voice swearing, please, bro. Sorry, say the voice swearing, please, brother, for YouTube. Go on, bro.
Oh, what's up with the Indian, like Indo-Paki women that's there? Are they like, deal with brothers when they get here, or do they even mix with the original population? Or are we going to see a half South African, half Indian girl out there? Like, how is that whole like culture
Yeah,
mix?
you're gonna see some of that, especially that's a lot more in the Eastern Cape. Well, I didn't get a chance to really hang out there, but I have some information, and I got South African friends that tell me about it there because there's a heavy Indian population there, and so yeah, there's a mix there, and of course the mixing is not as out in the open until it actually happens and the kid comes, but uh you know uh of course, that older generation of Indians, they're gonna act like they don't want nothing to do with black people, but then there's something going on, or she wouldn't have these little big African and Indian kids. Same with some Chinese and others. They're there too. Uh,
Did you see a half black, half Chinese mix?
yeah, you see some of that.
Did you?
Like I said,
Sorry, bro. Did you see a black men with Chinese women out there, brother?
no.
And let me add this, right. And this is part of my issue as well. Knowing the fact that certain groups of people can have these kind of racist mentalities and ideologies towards black people, right? In their own country and their own continent when they're making money. Can you believe that? Like, imagine that you're a black guy, right? You're a black South African. You're meshing really well with a Asian woman, right? And the parents are telling the daughter, no black guys in your own country, bruv, where they're making money, where they're millionaires. Can you imagine, right, that happening in their country or
You gotta
happening in
imagine
India
this.
or in China? And so, for example, I'll give an example, right? So, the brother's in China, right? He's having a great time there. He meets a
Mhm.
beautiful Chinese woman, right? His family is also there in China, and they're telling him, no Chinese woman, right? And the family hears about that, and the Chinese family are completely happy with their daughter being with a black guy. Can you imagine how they would feel, right, as a black person in their country, right, telling them, right, that their child can't date their daughter in their country. Now, think of it in our situation, right?
Mhm.
In Africa, right, you got Indians, Chinese, right, and brothers are interested in their woman, and the families are telling them no black men, no black guys. They've got these racist ideologies and mentalities against black men and black people in our flipping continent and country. That's how much disrespect we get all around the world. Not only are we disrespected in America, in the UK, and all these other Western countries, but the disrespect happens in our own continent.
Yeah. And
Bruv,
that's
it
why
makes
I'm
me
telling
feel
you.
some type of way, bruv. I'm telling you, it
That's why
makes me
I'm
feel
telling
some type
you.
of way.
And that's why I'm telling you. Like that's why brothers like you and the brothers that are watching this now. That's exactly why you need to go. Your presence needs to be there to mitigate some of this. It's not going to stop all of it, but our presence there adds more blackness and adds more conscious blackness, adds more blackness with some funds and resources for us to be able to start businesses, start families, and still have enough Africanness on the continent to mitigate this. If we ain't going, if we ain't going there, believe me, everybody else is coming to Africa. I'm gonna tell you, man. When I was in the mall in South Africa, I met this older Dutch woman who her and her daughter had just been in Africa for maybe 4 years. They had a health food store in the mall. This woman said, We ain't never leaving Africa.
What?
We ain't never leaving Africa. See, they left Holland, their homeland, where they weren't, you know, for them, that was the shithole.
Language, bro.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Carry on.
That was, for them living in their European homeland was not good. It wasn't working for them. They weren't prospering. They didn't have the opportunities. They came to Africa. And the woman told me out of her own mouth, we ain't never leaving Africa.
So Africa has been so good to these white Holland people that come from Holland to the point where they told you as a brother, we ain't never leaving Africa. And bear in mind, they're coming from Holland, right, which is a much better economy than Africa, right? They come there, and I guarantee you they're probably millionaires. So we definitely, as brothers, right, need to spread our seed worldwide, whether it's Africa, whether it's Japan, the Middle East. We can't be locked down in the West, because to build wealth here in the West is very hard. As a brother, I keep it a stack, man. The system is against us.
Yeah.
It's against us.
And see,
So
see what I'm saying about the white folks. They're leaving Europe because they're not prospering the way we think they are. They're not making that money that like we think. That's why they're coming to Africa. Because they're not able to get the opportunities to build wealth at the rate they can do it in Africa. They can come there, set up a business that doesn't have as much competition. When they're in Holland, when they're in the UK, when they're in Belgium, just like being in the US, you set up a gym, you set up a health food. Man, everybody got that. You ain't doing nothing new. You ain't doing nothing unique. But you go to South Africa, you go and see even more so, you go somewhere like Botswana, you go Namibia, man, those places don't have stuff like that. And so you instantly become what's that the term that Theo uses the book, the blue ocean. You're in a blue ocean. You have way more opportunity with a lot less competition. There are hundreds of thousands of Europeans coming in and living in Africa every day, man. The continent is gigantic. It is enormous. That place, the continent is you can't defend it because it is so enormous. It has so much coastline. You can't stop anybody from coming. These countries, I went through South Africa, Namibia, Botswana, and Zimbabwe. That's, you can fit the United States down there, man. These countries are enormous. And so when you go into Botswana and they got what, 2, maybe 3 million people at the most, I'm not even sure. That's nothing. You get a couple of guys from the UK or from Holland, they go in there and set up a burger stand, a pizza joint. They're gonna make money.
With this, Alex, can you turn your camera on in the background so I know you're not a troll? With this, I'll bring you in after Dark Ninja. Thank you, Alex. You're confirmed. Turn your camera off. With this IT stuff I'm doing on the channel, brother, me and Theo, that's the end goal here, right? Is to spread that, right? Is to take our skill set, take the money we make in the West, and take it abroad, whether it's in Africa, Asia. Like, for example, right, Japan. Like, if you brothers actually read the news like I do every day, in my free time, I read the news, right? Japanese economy is bouncing back, right? It's bouncing back. It's roaring back. Everyone's talking about it. So how can passport bros make money in Japan, right? You got to start thinking like that, brothers, man. How can you take your skill set to Japan, or how can you actually make money in Japan since the economy is now roaring back? So if everyone is out here, making their power moves, then it's time for us, brothers, to make our power moves too.
Yeah.
Pardon me. Start thinking globally, man. Right? Start thinking big, bro. Because I'm telling you, the America oppresses people. It keeps people down, bruv. UK too, high taxes, just crazy expenses. The rent is out of control. Brother, you have to think. You gotta start thinking big now, man. The Middle East is there, Africa's there, Asia is there. Start thinking like that, bruv. Be healthy. Get your mind right. Get your body right. And start thinking big. Before you say something, brother, I gotta bring in. I am Alex. What? Go on there, City. What were you about to say, bro?
Well,
Peace upon you, RP, and everybody here. Just had two questions. About to listen to Patreon. My first question is: should guys like myself worry about height, and is that something that African women are going to care about?
Nah, I'm 5'6", man. I'm short, stocky. I got a couple of muscles on me. I'm not no real tall brother. And believe me, I think I told IP this when we were doing the Patreon. I've been through. I'm not going to divulge all Namibia because we didn't talk about Namibia. But I'll just say I had a Namibian girlfriend, and when I left her in Namibia and came back to South Africa, the South African girl started liking me. And I told her, I said, look, I'm going to bring my Namibian woman down here. And the South African woman told me outright in her South African accent, I would fight her in the street. Woman, man, I'm telling you, you brother that's got a little sense to you, you keep yourself, groomed and clean. You ain't got to be the handsomest dude in the world. Just act like you got some sense. The women are looking for men because there's more women than there are men there. You halfway decent, brother, they'll be on you. You have to beat them off of you. They'll want to cook for you. You let it be known you looking for a wife or a woman. You ain't gonna have no problems.
Amazing. All right, thanks for that. Go on, Dark Ninja.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Loud and clear, man. Loud and clear. And brothers, get the support flowing, man. Like the video, hit the super chats, hit the PayPal donations. Any support will be greatly appreciated. Another classic, man. And I've got a new country this week I'm gonna touch upon for you brothers, man. I'm bringing you brothers classics, giving you brothers ideas, giving you that global mindset. Europe, Africa, Middle East, Asia. I mean, give me my props, man, brothers. I ain't playing no games here, man. So please support. Please support. Go on, Dark Ninja.
Yes, sir. Yeah, brother. Me and you the same height, bro. We're the same height. I'm kind of muscular a little bit. I go to the gym.
Yeah.
I don't think height is the issue. You just be confident, just be a man. That's what they really want, I think, over there. So it won't be an issue. As far as Africa goes with business, I think Africa is the most unsaturated country in the world. And Africa can fit like United States, China, that's how huge Africa is. So as far as Durban, I don't know you've been there before or you heard anything.
Yeah, I like I was telling IP, I didn't make it to Durban. I've heard a little bit about Durban. I would definitely like to go to Durban because that Eastern Cape with the Indian Ocean, that clear blue water, yeah, I would definitely like to check that out.
All right, so as far as Durban goes, things I've heard, the Zulu girls, yeah, I heard they got the biggest butt, in the back, in Africa or something like that. So they're more curvier, more thicker over there compared to other cities in Cape Town and Johannesburg.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna tell you what, that's saying something because Southern Africa, man, they got them thick, brother. They got them thick all over down there. So if Durban got the thickest, that's saying a lot.
Yeah, yeah, because I heard
I
it's.
just got. No, go ahead, bro. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you fine, bro. They got the most. I think they got the second. The Indian diasporas should be in Durban, right? I
Yeah,
think I heard. Yeah. So
yeah.
the other. So it's true.
yeah. So yeah, it's a it's a country that is mixed, especially depending on what region you go to. Like we just said, Durban is the Eastern Cape is probably going to be a little bit more mixed with the Indian, African, and some other Asian. You go to Cape Town, there's more of a mix down there too. Joburg, maybe not quite as much, but Joburg, because of it being a financial capital, you're still going to meet a lot of different people there, a lot of different kinds of people, a lot of people from other countries that live there, you know. So yeah, South Africa, it's not a place strictly for just black people. You're going to get a mix there.
Okay.
Awesome. Go on, bro.
One last question. So, do you think so? Do the women there, the black women there, do they age like fine wine?
Do they age like wine, like black wine?
Yeah, like wine.
For the most part, yeah. Yeah. As long as they're taking care of themselves, like anything else, most of them age well, you know. Most of them do kind of take, like I said, you want to get one from a good, maybe the middle upper class who has the money to take care of themselves, But yeah, I mean, just by being black, the genes tend to help us look younger than what most Europeans would think we are. Should I be I'll be 54 in a couple of months. So I try to keep in halfway decent shape, and most of the women there, they try to take care of themselves. So yeah, they tend to age pretty decent.
Awesome. Alex, go on, bro.
Thank you, IP, and happy early birthday to you, my brother. But my last two questions before I go and listen to the other one is: I know everybody here talking about the back doors and everything, but where are the cities that women got chests? I think that's me and everything. And my other question is: we'll have to worry about women are westernized.
Yeah. Well, the thickness is spread all over, so they're gonna have the chest too. Yeah, like I said, it being Africa, the backyard is gonna be the predominant. But yeah, they got most of them got a pretty decent chest too. So yeah, the thickness is all over, man. I'm telling you, the South Africa, the Southern Africa, very thick women. If I was to compare them like West Africa, what the biggest difference is going to be, the women are going to tend to be a little bit lighter brown skin than say West Africa. That's the only real difference. But as far as thickness, yeah, the thickness factor is still going to be there. The westernization, like I was saying before, they're going to tend to be more westernized in South Africa, especially if you're in the cities. You stand more of a chance of dealing with a westernized woman, especially if she's younger. If she's in her 20s, yeah, she she didn't see that Nicki Minaj stuff and all. Yeah, that's there. But I will I will tell you, when they come across a man, that they know has some sense, because see, they may be used to dealing with the equivalent of the South African Pookie. I don't know what you call them there, but when they, because I had a young chick in Namibia, and South Africa. when they know that you're serious, they kind of they tighten up. They get themselves together a little bit better. You know, like, oh, okay, this he ain't, you know, he's not playing. You know, they kind of rate, they try to raise their standards up a little bit better with themselves when they know that you're not playing. You know, so because they, you know, being African, they still know what a man is. They still know what a man commands the respect. So when they come across that, it's like, okay, yeah, I'm, you know, you let it be known, hey, uh, I need you to go in there and cook me something to eat, you know. And a lot of times you ain't got to tell them, you know. Uh, and if you do got to tell them, you know, they're not going to give you a whole lot of lip. You know, they're going to go in there and do their thing. You know, the woman that we were staying with in South Africa, who was actually from Tanzania, she worked a full-time job every day. And when she came home, she would go in that kitchen and cook our dinner and clean that house every day. Even though we were sitting in the house or we were there most times, just about every day, we didn't have to cook dinner. She came in there, got right up in there and cooked that dinner every damn day. See my language.
No, but
Awesome.
thank you for that
Awesome.
info. And I'm gonna go ahead and list the Patreon version. IP and my brother to my right. Peace to your point. Y'all have a good night.
Peace out, bro. Thank you very much, man. Speak to you soon, Alex. Thank you, bro. All right. So, Alex, sorry, no, Mr. Dark Ninja, do you have any closing statements or questions for our guests before we let him go?
So my closing statement is, brothers, don't sleep on Africa. There's many opportunities in Africa. There's many brothers and sisters. You need to build connections there with them. You'd be surprised that there will be brothers and sisters in local areas who can actually help you, from certain situations, anything like that. So it's better to have network connections. Yeah, man, Africa is massive. Africa is big. Don't sleep on Africa. I know the flights, you know, a little bit expensive, but it's all good. Um, yeah, man. Yeah, Africa is beautiful, man. You know, I do plan myself to go there. So, brothers, travel, see the world, meet new women, and have fun.
Yeah, I'm a you're completely right about Africa. It is the up and coming continent, and just to tell a little story, we were me and my buddy, we were at a gas station, trying to pick up a ride because we actually hitchhiked through a lot of places in Africa. We wanted to travel like the locals, and so we were waiting on one of the little white buses that you see in a lot of countries that pick people up, and there was a white girl there by herself. And like I said, we were out, we were far away from the city, and my buddy was talking to her, and he asked her, hey, why are you in Africa? And her exact answer was, Africa is the future. And I'm here just looking around to see what I can get into. Everybody else understands this. For some reason, it's hard to get black people in the West to understand this. Everybody else is checking out Africa on some level. That's why we need to go there. Not saying that you have to stay there and live, but you at least have to make some type of connections for some type of business, something. Just go and see for yourself and try to meet people who got a little something going on that's trying to do business. Just go and see what you can get into. You never know.
Very true, man. Very true. And I'm definitely going to speak more about that in the near future. So, Mr. Sid, thank you, brother, for your time on this live stream, brother. We said 2 hours, and I know you're a very busy man, brother. Do you have any closing statement before I let you go?
Now, man, other than what I just said, hey, man, like Dark Ninja said, check Africa out. Don't sleep on it. There's a lot there to offer. Just a few countries that I went to, it was a great experience. Definitely check it out. You will meet more women than you can shake a stick at. Just go and see for yourself.
Absolutely, absolutely. Awesome, man. Awesome. So thank you, bro. And thank you, brothers. Thank you, brother. Peace out, brother.
All right, peace. Thank you.
Awesome, bro. Fantastic. All right, so that was Sid there, brothers. Great, great live stream, brothers. So once again, brothers, man, support the channel. Check out the Patreon that me and Sid recorded for you, brothers. That'd be greatly appreciated. And brothers, man, let's get, man. Let's think big. Let's expand. Let's let's get it popping, man. Right, we need to reach the top. Right, nothing less. Not second best, not third best. Number one is where I want to see brothers, man. Okay, we gotta do it, brothers, and I'm sure we can. I know we can. Right, let's do it. Let's get to it. Let's get this power, 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 man. Get this power. We gotta get this power, brothers. We cannot exclude Africa. Us Western brothers, America, UK brothers, Canadian brothers, we need to expand. Yes, have your base here. Have your base here, brothers, in the West, right? But make money in Africa too. Make money in Asia too. Right? Indian people and Chinese people are doing that. Indian people that were born in the UK are making money in Africa and in India. Chinese people too. Ain't no reason why we can't do that, brothers, man. We must become economic powerhouses. Right? We need it. We have to get it, brothers. So another great live stream. Once again, go and check out the Patreon. Go and book your consultations, man. I've added new consultation features on my calendar page. I'm adding a lot more useful resources for you. Not only IT consultations, but personal talks with me. Me being your planner, helping you book your trips, what hotels are best for you, how to become a better passport bro. I've also added new plans on my Patreon in terms of monthly and weekly mentorship programs that are not only IT but personal mentorships to be the ultimate passport bro, to equip yourself to be mentally, physically, psychologically, and spiritually strong, man. So again, check out the calendar and the Patreon. Shout out to Dark Ninja for the $199 super chat. I appreciate you, brother. Go and check out the Patreon. Going to check the Patreon version now. Yes, indeed, man. Brothers, we have over 90 videos on the Patreon to help you on this incredible passport bros life journey, man. We ain't playing no games here, brothers, man. IP ain't playing no games. So, go and become a long-time member on the Patreon. And of course, book your consultations, book your trips with me. We're going to get it popping, brothers, man. We're going to get it popping, man. Big time. Big time. Okay, so awesome live stream. So not a lot of support today. In the recent streams, don't know what's happening, but brothers, you gotta appreciate what I do, man. Me and Theo, we're changing lives out here, getting brothers into IT, mentoring brothers, teaching brothers too every week, man. So please support. So where's everyone listening in from? What country, what city? And then I'm going to end the live stream, and I hope you brothers have a great rest of the week. Couple more streams this week. Should be future classics. I told y'all, brothers, man, I ain't gonna let you down anytime soon, man. IP, international passport, ain't playing no games, brothers. Right? So let's get a cracking, man. So where's everyone listening in from? Where y'all listening in from, brothers? it's a crazy world right now. A lot of things happening in the news. Big news this week. Big news. Powerful meetings, and of course, other things that I won't speak on. But yes, Mr. Kanan Kabir, can you please reach out to me on IG, bro? You in Belgium? Okay, brother. Brother, send me a DM on IG, brother, and let's get you on the channel to speak about Belgium, bro, for the brothers. Send me a DM on IG, bro, please, and let's get you on the channel and let's speak about your life in Belgium so far. Super interested in that, brother. That would be greatly appreciated, man. Who else is here? This was a fantastic live stream, man. We just gonna keep pushing forward, brothers. Who else is here? Who else is here, brothers? Who else is here? What city? What country? What city? What country, brothers? 2 more minutes, and I'm gonna end the live stream. Still on Mongolia. Yu-Gi-Oh Master, are you in Mongolia right now? Are you in Mongolia right now, brother? Okay. All right, 1 more minute, brothers. Where you are listening in from? Where you are listening in from, brothers? And go and check out my video I dropped yesterday about Logan Paul and his 304 wife. Here's the link. Go and check it out, brothers. All right, brothers. I'm IP. Okay, and I'll see you, brothers, on my next video. Peace out, brothers. Thank you.